Good afternoon, everybody. So we have been learning about the country of Mexico. That's right. Well, Miss McCorkle today is wearing a shirt from guess where? Mexico. I went on a cruise and we went to Mexico and I saw this shirt and I was like, I have to get it to show you guys over spring break. So we're going to be reading Esperanza Rising. And so actually she is from Mexico, and so we're going to be learning about her life and her family, and there's a great story that's involved with this. So put your listening ears on. Let's get started. Woo, it's a little windy out, and I thought it'd be perfect if we were out here with the sunshine, because it is just too beautiful. And we're going to find out that Esperanza loves being outside. So we're going to start. It's in 1924. That's a really long time ago, isn't it? It says, "Our land is alive, Esperanza," said Papa, taking her small hand as they walked through the gentle slopes of the vineyard. Leafy green vines draped the arbors, and the grapes were ready to drop. Esperanza was 6 years old and loved to walk with her Papa through the winding roads, gazing up at him and watching his eyes dance with the love for the land. "This whole valley breathes and lives," he said, sweeping his arm toward the distant mountains that guarded them. "It gives us the grapes, and then they welcome us." He gently touched a wild tendril that reached into the row as if it had been waiting to shake his hand. He picked up a handful of earth and studied it. "Did you know that when you lie down on the land, you can feel it breathe? That you can feel its heart beating?" "Poppy, I want to feel it," she said. "Come." They walked to the end of the row where the incline of the land formed a grassy swell. Papa lay down on his stomach and looked up at her, patting the ground. The warm sun pressed on one of Esperanza's cheeks and the warm earth on the other. She giggled. "Shh," he said. "You can only feel the earth's heartbeat when you are still and quiet." She swallowed her laughter and after a moment said, "I can't hear it, Poppy." "Wait a little while and the fruit will fall into your hand. You must be patient, Esperanza." She waited and laid silent, watching Papa's eyes, and then she felt it, softly at first, a gentle thumping, then stronger, a resounding thud, thud, thud against her body. She could hear it too, the beat rushing in her ears. She stared at Papa, not wanting to say a word, not wanting to lose the sound, not wanting to forget the feel of the heart of the valley. She pressed closer to the ground until her body was breathing with the earth's and with Papa's, the three hearts beating together. She smiled at Papa, not needing to talk, her eyes saying everything. His smile answered hers, telling her that he knew she had felt it. So, we're starting now 6 years later. So, if Esperanza was 6 at that time, how old do you think she is now if it's been 6 years later? We're moving forward. She's had 6 more birthdays. 12, that's right. So Papa handed Esperanza the knife. The short blade was curved like its fat wooden handle fitting snugly in her palm. This job was usually reserved for the eldest son of a wealthy rancher, but since Esperanza was an only child and Papa's pride and glory, she was always given the honor. Last night she had watched Papa sharpen the knife back and forth across a stone, so she knew the tool was edged like a razor. "Watch your fingers," said Papa. The August sun promised a dry afternoon in Mexico. Everyone who lived and worked on El Rancho de las Rosas was gathered at the edge of the field. Esperanza's family, the house servants in their long white aprons, were already sitting on their horses ready to ride out to the cattle, and 50 or 60 campesinos, straw hats in their hands, holding their own knives ready. They were covered top to bottom in long-sleeved shirts, baggy pants tied at the ankles with string, and bandanas wrapped around their foreheads and necks to protect them from the sun, dust, and spiders. Esperanza, on the other hand, wore a light silk dress that stopped above her summer boots and no hat. On top of her head, a wide satin ribbon was tied in a big bow, the tails trailing in her long black hair. The clusters were heavy on the vine and ready to deliver. Esperanza's parents, Ramona and Sixto Ortega, stood nearby Mama, tall and elegant, her hair in the usual braided wreath that crowned her head, and Papa barely taller than Mama, his graying mustache twisted up at the sides. He swept his hand toward the grapevine, signaling Esperanza. When she walked toward the arbors and glanced back at her parents, they both smiled and nodded, encouraging her forward. When she reached the vine, she separated the leaves and carefully grasped a thick stem. She put the knife to it, and with a quick swipe, the heavy cluster of grapes dropped into her waiting hand. Esperanza walked back to Papa and handed him the fruit. Papa kissed it and held it up for all to see. "Harvest," said Papa. "Ole, ole!" A cheer echoed around them. The field workers spread out over the land and began the task of reaping the fields. Esperanza stood between Mama and Papa with her arms linked to theirs and admired the activity of the workers. "Poppy, this is my favorite time of the year," she said, watching the brightly colored shirts of the workers slowly moving among the arbors. Wagons rattled back and forth from the fields to the big barns where the grapes would be stored until they went to the winery. "Is this the reason? Because when the picking is done, it will be someone's birthday in time for a big fiesta?" Which is a party in Spanish, Papa asked. Esperanza smiled. When the grapes delivered their harvest, she always turned another year. This year she would be 13. The picking would take 3 weeks, and then, like every other year, Mama and Papa would host a fiesta for the harvest and for her birthday. So we're going to stop there for today. And I just want to ask you guys, what do you think is going to happen next? Do you think there's going to be lots of grapes for the farmers to pick and to provide to everybody? Or what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, Kayla?
Yeah, I think they'll bring a lot of grapes.
Do you think she's going to have a great birthday?
Yeah.
She'll be turning 13. Eat lots of grapes, yeah. So, what was the significance of the grapes? Why was it important for Esperanza to cut the first group of grapes? And she dropped them into her hand, and everyone celebrated. So, what do you guys think that meant? Why was it such a big celebration?
It was good luck.
It was good luck for the grapes, okay? Do you think the farmers and everyone were really happy because they had jobs and they knew that they were going to be able to make a lot of money? I think so too. All right.